the greatest. Look at us, mama, we made it. I'm going in like I'm bathing. Yeah, they had a buzz, but we shaved it. They got me feeling like some gay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. I'm here today with the great Elizabeth Pompey. Today I have my great co-host today, co-host for me for the first time. The world, welcome, Miya. Yes. So on the show today, I like to talk about the blueprint, right? Mm-hmm. So talking riches is really not about wealth and money. It's about the riches of life.
It is.
Your foundation, your blueprint of who you are today. So that's step. So the people who's watching, just don't think money when you come to my show, right? So let's start there with your family foundation.
Pretty privileged. I went to private school for 9 years, Catholic school. I was in so many different things, from choir, band, mass choir, and then I really got focused into acting, as far as literary meet and the different plays and musicals we would put on. So that was kind of shy, but that helped boost my confidence to be who I am today.
So since you kind of started off shy, or did you start off shy and you kind of worked your way into, what type of roles did you play, like when you were?
Well, I've loved strong black roles. Early on, Langston Hughes has always been really key to me, his poetry. He wrote a series of poems about a character he entitled Madam. And she's an older black woman that says what she wants to, when she wants to whomever she wants to. And me, as a 7th grader, I would wear a gray wig. I had a cane. I would wear one of my mom's church suits, and I would win competitions.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to experience that, and that's been a character I've kind of played with since that time.
So, what you kind of understand Langston Hughes, right? So he's known for his poetry too as well. He wrote that poem called "The Crow" or something, or Othello, or I'm thinking about somebody else.
You thinking about today?
I think that's Shakespeare. I'm sorry.
I love Shakespeare. I went to the Governor's School for the Arts and Humanities in Greenville as well. So I'm classically trained in drama.
Okay, I indulge in dramas a little bit.
You should. It's fun.
I played Othello.
Okay.
I think it's Beowulf. I'm not sure. It's one of those, right? So
you all over the place now. Now I'm an English major too, so you all over the place, but it's okay.
So with you kind of develop your skills and kind of understanding how to play character roles, and with you as a young kid, did your parents kind of promote and encourage that too as well? How was that process? Pretty much, if I saw something advertised on TV or on the radio, I wanted to do it, and they let me. I won locally the Apollo Kid Talent Search. So I didn't get to go to New York, but I won in Florence, where I'm from, and I got to go compete in Columbia. So that was kind of big. At 11 years old, that's pretty big. That's huge.
At a very young age too. So did your parents, or were they in like any theater roles, or like where did that come from? Like what made you
church? Honestly, learning what is Easter speeches and Christmas speeches, and then my church was really big. We had the Easter plays, and then we would have a Christmas play too. So yeah,
that used to be something you was excited to do?
Yes.
I was the one. I did not want to say my Bible verse, like you stand in the line to church. I was like, oh man.
People would like perk up in their seat, like waiting on my turn to speak, because I've always been the little girl with the voice. So just kind of stuck with me.
Okay, so now you're younger, you're kind of developing now. So like, hey, I kind of know what I'm going to do. I have these dreams and aspirations.
Kind of. It's always been a passion. Yeah, I wanted to be a lawyer back then.
Why? Break down that why.
Well, because going to private school, we competed in, what is it called? Some type of mock trial with all the local schools. And it was really interesting. I got to pretend, I guess, to be the part of an attorney for a case that we pretended to do.
That's
And
cool.
it is really cool, and I won an award doing that too. Just, I saw it as more of a presentation. I didn't really see it as, oh, I have to read all this stuff and prepare for an actual case, but I like the presentation side of everything.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's dope. I like that. So now you want to be a lawyer. I'm gonna go back to the process of you being in private school. Was you predominantly the only black girls?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. Talk about experience growing up in private school.
Honestly, it was awesome.
Okay.
I feel now I've met a lot of black people that are intimidated by other races, and
why?
I never
Why do you think so?
just non-exposure.
Okay.
And just thinking that, oh, well, this person is better than me, or this person has more money, and they're people just like everybody's just people, you know, regardless of what color. But I always saw myself as equal with my peers, whether I went to school with a lot of people, their parents were lawyers or doctors, but none of that really matters. Like, you're still learning the same things in school. So it never really intimidated me. But growing up, there were other kids, like other races. My best friend and I at the time, we stuck together from 5K to 8th grade, the whole duration of that school. And we were the 2 black girls in class. There were other people, you know, from year to year, but we were predominantly the 2 black girls in my class. But every grade had at least 1, 2.
Right.
Yeah, it's a small. I think the total amount of students from 5K to 8th grade was like 300, so very small school.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. So outside of that, so you said you started around like 11 with acting, and then you went all the way up.
Well, I guess at school, but from church, my goodness.
So was it one of those churches where
Early on.
did your parents made you go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, skip Thursday?
See, I'm so glad we did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to a stereotypical, traditional, I guess, black church.
Okay, so
But-
Baptist or so.
We're holiness.
What's the difference if you can break
I
it down?
have no idea.
Yeah. So was y'all shouting and
No.
Oh, okay.
My mom says they're more like the Puritans. They stand up when they're supposed to stand up. They sit down. They don't believe in all of that mixing up. Yeah.
run across?
No,
So
they're not.
like Royal Baptist Church and
They-
get down.
they're
You fall off the
not.
balcony.
Yeah. I didn't see that until I got older and
Yeah.
went with friends to church. But no, they're for Darlington County where I'm from, they're like the elites in town. The assistant superintendent goes there. A lot of teachers, so they're in the education field. They're elite.
Okay, nice. So we're gonna moving on to throughout your journey, right? So now you started acting at 11. What was your first like official like stage performance?
Probably at school. I was the Ghost of Christmas Present in A Christmas Carol. It's one of my favorite stories anyway.
Yeah.
And they like to do musicals, and I'm not really a musical person. I love certain musicals, but yeah. So for some reason, the Ghost of Christmas Present had like a rap to do.
Hold on, what?
Yes.
You remember the rap went like?
Kinda.
Break
I
out,
do.
you know, I wanna hear
it. How does it? All over town. Wait.
I think that was.
It's been a while.
Hold on,
It's been a while.
I was actually ran a little bit.
It was a little. Yeah, it was kind of weird, but it was a girl that played Scrooge, and I'm short. I'm 5 feet, so she was way taller than me, and I'm down here. But she said, "Wow, she is really intimidating." Like my eyes, when I'm acting, like my eyes have a certain quality, like I'm into it. And I was real focused. And I did really well. I was really proud of myself. And I've always liked costumes too. So my costume was really, it's like a robe and it was real decadent.
So did your costume kind of help with the confidence of you actually being on stage?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what takes away from, I guess,
fear.
the fear and the intimidation of actually acting? It's like going into another world.
I'm weird, like, yo. Something about my voice. I just like being on stage. I really do.
Okay.
And I think I practiced so much at home, and like I used to practice all the time around my parents, reading different things, that I just love doing that. I love saying things a certain way for the emphasis of the words. I love it.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Nice. So, like, growing up, there's certain actors that we kind of admire in our community, from Denzel, Michael B.
Love Michael B.
Michael B's dope.
Yes.
Forrest Whitaker, in those ambiance, right? So, growing up in the 90s, there was this the black music scene, actor scene, from Sanaa Lathan to who's that guy who played with Sanaa Lathan in Love of Basketball? What's his name again?
Whatever his name is. I know you're talking about.
Dude, right?
I see him, but I know you're talking about.
That guy. If you know what I'm talking about, that guy, right? So what actors did you look up to and study to perfect your craft?
I'm such an old soul, and I realized that with my old soul and then my ability, I'm not gonna be cast as the girl next door type. That's just not my type. I'm more of the narrator type, or I think now I'm only beginning to get into the roles that I would probably get. So like Della Reese, Felicia Rashad, there's so many people. Angela Bassett, the classic black actresses. That's
like a really strong.
That would be awesome to me, to be able to be in that type of role.
And did you, how did you study, right? For me, right, how I study how to be an interviewer. So I go back and watch Arsenio Hall. I'll go back and actually watch Oprah. What questions did they ask? How did they do this movement? How do you study that craft and add it to yourself?
Kind of two-part answer. I went to the Governor's School for the Arts and Humanities in Greenville. It's a residential program, and it's free. It's a public school. So you audition when you're in 10th grade, and then you go 11th and 12th. And it taught me so much. I already had so much natural raw talent, I guess, but it taught me how to phonetically, I can write the phonetic alphabet. I can say things, like if I see something phonetically written, I know how to say it. Like, let's say the director wants you to use a certain accent. I can read it and have that accent. So it taught me a lot of the structure of acting. And then added that to what I already do, it just really helped me, like my confidence, and to, I rarely go out for roles now because, I don't know, I think the caliber, because I'm trained, I don't want to upstage people. And that is a thing, the continuity of the whole play or movie is a thing. You don't want to be in roles that you're gonna stand out, is because it takes away from the whole story.
Okay. Like if it's a more calmer type of
It's just because I'm trained and people aren't.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you could tell.
you can tell, and it's bad.
Mhm.
Like you don't want to do
doesn't
that.
mesh,
Yeah,
doesn't mesh
because
well
it.
together. Mhm.
Because if the story's not about me as an actor, the story is about whatever the story is
Yeah.
about. So
Yeah.
the latest thing I was in, amateur stuff, but it was fun. Boone Hall Plantation does a Halloween Fright Nights. I was the narrator on the hayride. I had a great time. But I could do whatever I wanted to do, really. They gave me an award at the end, so I must have did pretty good.
Nice. So what's the process of actually, I guess, auditioning for these roles? Like, where do you find auditions or?
I haven't really auditioned in a while. That was just something I heard on the radio that I wanted to do.
Okay.
I see different local auditions like on Facebook, but I probably need to get with an agent. Being a mom and
Yeah.
Mhm. I'm gonna get back into it, but now I just do what I do, like on my own content, on my own Facebook page and on the Facebook page for my children. I do voiceovers a lot, and
Okay.
people like it.
Okay. And
That's
so for your videos, what do you primarily do videos on?
I started doing like poems that I grew up doing. I just kind of did them again, maybe a little bit more sophisticated, or just kind of put my foot out there, I guess. Most recently, I did something I wrote, and I guess I kind of directed it and performed it. A reaction to a domestic violence situation, where my character was responding to a man that put a gun in her face. And I think I uploaded it on my children's page because that page has more followers than my page, because I wanted people to see and get their reaction. And yeah,
It was a big reaction.
big reaction, because my friend's mom, she actually thought, oh Lord, because I did my makeup too. I actually do theater makeup too, so I had blood like on me. And my friend's mom was like, oh, what happened to that poor girl? Like, she was really upset. So, but I just kind of do certain things now to stay relevant, I guess, to more of as a practice for myself.
I like that. So, like, with you writing, right? How do you come up with stories? Like stories about that? Was it something that you know? Did somebody experience? How did you?
I go from fact and then just do my version. So there's some truth in everything I do, but what's true and what's not, no one will ever know.
Kind of like drama classes.
I do, and do my own spin and draw my own conclusions as to how it should end.
Okay, so let's go back, right? So now you're going through your middle school stage, you're entering high school. You know, what was the high school version you like, art-wise, craft-wise, still having that dream, you know, and pursuing? What was you like?
Well, I went to two different high schools, so I went to Darlington High School, and then I went to the Governor's School, which I spoke about. At Darlington High School, it's just a regular school. They did a Blues Brothers night. Two men that performed as the Blues Brothers, they partner with schools to raise money for, like, I don't know what they were raising money for, I guess for the school. And so I auditioned for the show, and they liked what I did. I think I did a poem. And they said, wow, we don't know where to put you in our show, but we will make you a part.
Wow.
So
that means you do really good.
thank you. I dressed as an old lady for the actual show, and I was supposed to be like Mother Blues, and I was kind of the narrator, and I introduced like the history of the blues, and it went well. It went well. So just at a traditional high school, I kind of made my own way. I guess. I was in drama class, but I wasn't trained yet. I was very talented, but I won't say I was arrogant, but I was a little, like, I knew I was better than.
You was confident, I said.
Yeah.
In your ability, what you can do.
Right. Right. But when I got to governor school, I auditioned. My first audition for governor school, I read my piece because I didn't know. I'm coming from a background where I did literary meets, and in literary meet, you read your pieces. And they stopped me, the teachers, and they said, well, do you not know your pieces? I said, I didn't know I needed to. And they said, yes, you do. But they invited me, I auditioned in Columbia, and they invited me to Greenville, where the school is, to audition again. So I'm like, okay, I was a little shaken up, but I'm like, that must mean they like me.
Exactly.
So I went to Greenville and auditioned. Out of everyone that auditioned, they only pick 12 people in the whole state.
Oh, wow.
So every year, yeah. So any any rising 11th graders can do that, but yeah, they only pick 12, so I was one of the 12.
Oh, wow.
And that's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But then you meet people that they're talented too, but you still realize, like, wow, I'm pretty good. Like, you know, they're talented in their own different respects. Yeah. But no one. Now, I did have people in my family that tried to talk me out of it.
What was that like?
Oh my goodness.
Was that heartbreaking?
It was shocking. Yeah, it was very shocking. Not many people, but a few people saying outlandish things like, oh, those children are trying to hurt you and you should be scared. And it's like, I don't think it's like that, but okay. So even with that in my ear, I went anyway because I knew it was a huge opportunity. And like I said, you live there. You can go back and forth anytime your parents feel like picking you up, really, but you have to leave campus, everyone does, once a month, because you're still young and you're away from home. And it's nice. The school is actually set up like an Italian villa, and it's pre-professional training, so they push you.
Right. And
they don't coddle you like regular teachers do. They might cuss you out. Like, seriously. Yeah.
So what is that, like, what does the lesson consist of? Like, what are you guys doing, just reading off?
No. We had first the history of drama. That was a course that took a few months. Mainly a lot of voice work. Like I said, I'm trained in the phonetic alphabet. It's called IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet.
What does that mean? Like,
So you know, like the characters that are in front or in the dictionary, how it's written out phonetically?
Like a dot.
Like the pronunciation, right.
Oh, okay.
So there is a version of that for actors. And at the school, they taught us what those symbols were. So if something is supposed to be pronounced a certain way, I can write it like that and know automatically by reading it how it's supposed to be pronounced. So
give us an example.
Like, let's say, for instance, my last name. So many people say my name is Pompey, and so many people say Pompey.
Yeah, especially from down here.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can write it phonetically, and someone that knows how to speak the phonetic alphabet would know how to say it without me telling them.
So how would you write it or spell it out, regular versus phonetically?
It's symbols. So it's not like ABC, it's symbols for everything. Symbols based on how you actually say it.
That's cool.
It really is. But learning it as a junior in high school is like, oh my God, what is this? So yeah, it's quite a learning curve. they, like I said, they don't hold your hand through it.
Right.
They give you the material. They expect you to like this is a room. You have training rooms like to go after class, go train. And when you're young and you can just go downtown and go buy ice cream or coffee, you have to like discipline yourself to be able to do that. And it takes time.
Yeah.
It does. It really does.
Okay. So now moving forward, right? So now you're about to graduate high school, right? So you're thinking about, what are my dreams, aspirations in life? Was it already a plan for you set up? Or was it your plan or your parents' plan? And how was that conversation like on what you want to do in life?
Well, I knew I didn't want to go to a conservatory like a lot of my friends. So I have friends that went to Juilliard, went to Yale School of Drama. I didn't audition. I could have. My teachers told me that I would have gotten in. The year in my class, there were 2 black girls that went to Juilliard, which is unheard of. You know, like, so they said I could have, I probably could have, I just didn't want to do that. At the time, I wanted to be a lawyer. And I got into Howard University.
Oh, HU, right?
I didn't go to Howard. I made it to the orientation, and during that summer, just being a crazy teenager, I wrecked my mom's vehicle. And my dad said, we are not going to pay for college and for the vehicle, so you're going to go to Francis Marion, and that's right in Florence. So
Nice.
I went to Francis Marion. I was pissed off. I was very pissed off, but I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason.
Right.
So my freshman year of college, I was in Romeo and Juliet. After that, I was in Eve Ensler's The Vagina Monologues. It's a woman's empowerment, like not musical, but ensemble piece play. So I stayed relevant.
Correct.
Tried. You know, it's hard when you're from a small town. But it was definitely a bummer, I guess, not to be able to go to Howard at first, but then I made the most of it.
Right. So now you're in college, but I want to take the question.
No, go ahead.
Alright. So you're in college now, right? And what was your major in? What was your focus?
Well, it was English education. I wanted to be a teacher, but then my last year of college, I changed it to English.
Okay.
Because most of those children are bigger than me, and coming from a private school, I don't know anything about discipline or any of that. So I just decided to come out with an English degree, minor in international studies.
Okay. International that's actually a pretty good degree. So you were English, and was you still thinking about becoming an actor while you're in college? Was the inspiration and motivation still pushing you forward, or you were thinking like, I'm gonna give this up. I'm working to go to a workforce and not try. What was your mindset in that life?
I can never stop acting. Even reading books to my little kids now, it's just something in me. But the main reason, like even initially why I didn't want to go to a conservatory is because I wanted to be trained in something. Like, in my opinion, it's just one-sided to go to an acting school and it's like, that's all you can do. What if times get hard? What are you gonna do? So yeah, I always wanted some type of degree under my belt. Okay. And all my family, my mom, her sisters, everybody went to Francis Marion. So it felt right.
Okay.
So what was your next step after there?
Well, I hit some hard times. I graduated in 2010. That was the recession. So it was hard to find a job. It was really hard. I ended up being a mail carrier. I used to, not mail, paper. I used to deliver the paper, and my route, the school, Francis Marion, was on my route, ironically.
Yeah.
So I did that for about a year and a half. Didn't really find anything after that, little jobs here and there. Eventually I had my first child. She's 12 now. And I didn't really get a good job until I started working at Bill department store as a makeup artist. And that's one of my passions too. I'm a makeup artist. I freelance now as well.
Right.
But I started at the Fashion Fair counter. And Fashion Fair is the line of makeup for women of color, the first line of makeup for women of color. And during that job, I got recognized by the company because I started selling through their Facebook platform. If anybody wears Fashion Fair, it's a hard makeup to get. When a store is in stock, they're not in stock long. Getting stock is tricky. So I put on their Facebook page that, hey, I have whatever in stock and I can send it to you because Belk had free shipping. And so the company actually went on their Facebook page and recognized me for doing that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
So you're rolling there, right? So why is it important for someone to still have their career job, but also still pursue their passions?
Well, one thing that always stuck with me, the idea of the hunger artist or the starving artist. And I'm like, I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
And I've definitely hit rock bottom in my life. I've been in a homeless shelter twice in my life through different circumstances. But throughout the years, I've always honed in on different skills, and that's what I'm doing now. I can't work the way I want to because I have a medically complex son. But the different skills I have, I make money every day. So that's the key. That's why acting will always be my passion, but I gotta make money.
So for someone who's watching right now, right, they say they're going through the same process. How can one come out that challenge that you had, being homeless, things like that, or being in a shelter, I would say?
You have to, you have to pray. And even if you don't, it doesn't matter what someone's faith is, that's trivial. You have to believe in a higher power and align yourself with whatever higher power you believe in. Because that is honestly the only way. And because the things you don't think you'll be able to do, you're able to do. And I've faced like a lot of adversity, I guess, and people look at me and it's like, you're almost 38? Yeah, I'm almost 38. People don't believe that because you just gotta roll with the punches, keep going. And it's only, for me, it's only a testament to God's grace and mercy.
So was someone kind of like help guiding you? Was someone putting a hand out, or was it no one there to support?
No, I'm totally self-made. I was in a very turbulent relationship that ended up in domestic violence, and I got myself out of that. I got myself back financially stable.
What occurs? So you know, a lot of people like say like, hey, my mindset, I still love the person, I don't want to leave this person. So how did you overcome? If you want to talk about it.
Oh no,
How did you overcome those challenges there?
My son, he's 4 now. He spent 10 months in the hospital. He has a trach and a G-tube. And when he finally got out of the hospital, this man had the audacity to hit me over where I was trying to do the cares for my son. That was the last day. Like, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. It took so much to get him out of the hospital. And it's like the nerve of this man to try to have a physical altercation with, I mean, at that point, my son was on a ventilator 24/7. So it's like, he got tubes running back and forth. He got oxygen. Like, are you crazy? So yeah, that was it for me.
Okay. And can someone, say Women's Day, somebody they're out dating or so, how can someone recognize a person like that? Did it evolve, or how did it happen?
Well, I have a page dedicated to overcoming domestic violence, and I'm still trying to figure this one out myself. Looking back, I should have recognized love bombing.
What's that?
He was always over. So love bombing is the person shows you so much attention early on. Not just like being nice, but unusual, like just an overflow of attention. And I had never experienced that before. I was 20. It was my senior year of college, so I had never experienced that. And he's 7 years older than me. I was thrown off. I didn't know what to think. I thought, okay, well, maybe he just likes me. But now looking back, I now know what that is. Love bombing means run.
It's a distraction.
Yes.
Like,
it means that's a messed up person and they're trying to distract you.
They suck you in with all of that.
Yes.
You get comfortable and then everything looks nice. You know how people say the cupcake stage. Everything looks nice, and then once that starts to wear off throughout time, you'll see who that actual person is. Some people can do that, love bombing. Some people are genuinely nice and
some people are, yes.
But some people wear a mask, and you don't uncover the mask until their true side actually starts to naturally come out through things that will trigger them. Violence will come, things like that.
And it took 11 years. Like, yeah.
Why is that?
Probably felt stuck.
I did, because my mother got sick, my father passed, and I wasn't really close to the rest of my family, mainly because of him. But I didn't feel like, I felt like he was supporting me. It was not financially, but I felt like emotionally he was supporting me. And I felt he was my best friend. But what changed the dynamic, we were so poor and doing so bad. I was working at Belk, being a makeup artist, but I was like, hey, something has to give. I'm only making like $11 an hour, and he was not working. So I decided to be a truck driver. And this is something I've always wanted to do anyways. So I drove truck for about
big 18 wheels.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I had my CDL. I had to go off to Colorado for truck driving school, which lasted a month, and then I drove with a trainer for about another month, and then I was driving on my own. Yeah. Nice. So I'm not a person that fails. If I put my mind to something, I'm gonna do it. And I think he wanted me to fail.
So you can lean on him.
Right.
Which put you in that cycle of stuckness.
Yes.
And even him probably getting you away from your family, people you know, comfortable with, probably were with him a lot more. So therefore you probably felt more attached, or that you needed him.
You're right.
But people like that, they probably don't even notice. He probably didn't even notice he was doing it. It could have been natural, just that type of person. Maybe did, but some people it could be natural, and they do it so often and so well. It's scary.
It's scary.
It's scary.
One thing to look out for, if that person doesn't really have a good place to live, they might be living with someone else. He was living with a roommate, but then he was always over. It's like, yeah, they try to secure stability. And I was in college. I had my own apartment. I've always been a pretty stable person. I'm not really, I like to have, a place to live, like the essentials, a car. But yeah.
It's something of your own type thing.
He looks at other people's stuff.
Mm.
And I think that is definitely a red flag to look out for. Someone that they talk a good game, like they have the potential to do this and that, and they know so much, but yet they don't have anything to show for it.
Mm.
Yeah. It's very tricky. It really is.
Okay, so let's go. Let's all right. So now fast forward. So while you're still dating, right, in that 11 year, you still have? Did you still have dreams and aspirations?
Yeah. During that time, I don't think I did any acting, which is sad.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do, not even like a local performance. I didn't do anything.
Maybe that could be another sign as well. Like when you're with somebody,
Yeah.
something that's your true passion. Like you, or it's something natural for you, and you're not even participating in that. When you're around, let's say, a certain person, maybe that's another sign that they're taking you away from your actual self, and then you start to lose yourself.
Mm.
So I kind of, I was doing makeup then, so I was happy because I'm a creative person. There's so many different creative things I like to do. So I guess that kind of, I didn't see it at the time that, hey, I'm not even acting. I make jewelry too. I wasn't even making jewelry. I wasn't, but because he was taking up all of that time for me.
The energy.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. So after you left, right, you got the courage, left them, things like that. What was that time period like of you getting restabilized? And what was that process like for you?
Well, that's when I started content creating.
Okay.
And at that point, I was making pretty good money. Not so much now, but at that point, I guess because a Facebook content creator program was structured a little bit differently, I was making thousands a month. Like, it was nice. So internally, I was going through a lot, but I was still, and I was pregnant. Like, I was pregnant with twins. So, and I started working, I was content creating, and I started doing like a online type freelance job too. So I was just really focused in making money, being able to pay my rent. Yeah. Because I already had my daughter, my son, who is medically complex, and I was pregnant with twins. So I was just trying to hold it in the road.
Okay. Great. So, the first day that you realized I can create content to make a living, bring some income to my family. What was that day like, and how did you know about it?
Well, I credit my best friend now.
Okay.
We got close through Facebook. I met her on Facebook, but she was already content creating. The creator program had just started, so I'm not sure if she was earning money yet, but she watched my son while I was in the hospital to have the twins, and she made videos about that, and those are still circulating, because she actually was watching 2 babies on a ventilator, and it was like, people were like so in awe, because that's a pretty amazing thing. But as soon as I got home from the hospital, I started, because it's something I wanted to do even when I was in the bad relationship. But when you're with the wrong person, you're depressed. Like, you don't feel like talking in front of a camera and all of that. So as soon as I had the twins, I think after a week, I started filming them, talking to people, filming myself, and it just kind of kept going from there.
Okay. So now you create content, right? What type of content creators you think about writing? Are you writing comedy? Are you writing, like you said, drama? Realistic? What is
For me, it's just my life. So many people wanted to know about my son and his daily care, and so I would go live changing his trach, giving him a feed. He used to get feeds through a G-tube, so giving him feeds. Just things that were normal for me, but for the general public, it's like, wow, you have a baby on a ventilator and you have twins? Like, how are you doing it? Like, so people were really interested. So my own page then, I wasn't really doing anything. And I was still, inwardly, I was still kind of depressed because I'd gone through so much. So I wasn't really, I would do some voiceovers on content with my babies, but other than that, I was just really explaining how to be a medical mom.
Okay.
And with taking care of your babies, was that just something that you kind of acquired over time, like medically, or did you have help? Did you have people come in the house to help you?
So I'm qualified to get a nurse, but that was, I guess, the tail end of COVID, and there was a nursing shortage. So we had a nurse for a short time period, but he was already off the ventilator really at that point. So I just pretty much did everything myself. I don't know, they taught me in the hospital what to do, but the structure of having a baby with a trach, they want 2 people to change the baby's trach. And I'm so against that, because they have this whole criteria you have to go through when the child is in the hospital. And they said it takes 2 people. If you don't, I said, well, what if you don't have 2 people? And they said, well, then we recommend the baby to get put up for foster care. I'm like, exactly, yes. So that's something I really don't like at all. Their father was with me in the hospital, so I'm very thankful that, you know, he was there for that. But after getting out of the hospital, he didn't do anything. You have to change the trach once a week, and it's not a complicated thing, but if you're thinking, hey, this is how my baby breathes, it can make you very nervous at first, especially. Now, I don't care. The baby doesn't care. But especially then, I was like, oh my goodness, you don't want their trach to be out too long, because they can't breathe. But I changed his trach by myself. I was nervous. Their father was around, but he said he didn't want to do that. So I had to, and I think doing that just gave me the confidence, like, well, you're here, but you're not doing anything, so I can do this. And I can be confident in doing this and be able to show the world that it's possible.
So when you having kids, right? You know, like parents expect their kids to take care of them, but you have a complex kid too as well. Do you expect your kids, when you leave the earth, to help take care of their mother?
He'll be fine then. Yeah, he's a spunky little boy. He can't talk yet. He's in speech therapy, physical therapy, and occupational therapy. He can run, jump, all of that. He likes to hide from me and do little bad things, but that's just how he's, developing. But yeah, he will learn to talk. He won't have to have a trach forever. He will have a sleep study in September, and after that they'll see if he's eligible to be decannulated. So that's taking the trach out, a surgery where they would take the trach out and surgically close up the hole, which is called the stoma. It's exciting, but it's scary because it means hospital time. How they explained it, they would take a piece of cartilage from his rib and put in his throat, and he would have to be made to, I forget what it's called, but he will be under a paralytic for a week. because they don't want him to move and hurt whatever they did in the surgery. So with a paralytic, he would be basically paralyzed, like they would make him paralyzed. I've seen him like that before, and I mean, even though he's fine, they're monitoring everything, it's still scary. And he would, after being under a paralytic for a week, he would have to stay in the hospital for 3 months to recover. That's a lot. Yeah. So it's a good thing, like he wouldn't need his trach anymore.
But the process,
yeah,
sounds like it's gonna be a journey.
And then I have other kids. I mean, that's a lot of going back and forth to the hospital. I'm just praying, but I know we have to get to that point one day. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay. So, like you say, you speak about your life and everything. So, where do you see yourself in the future? Like, say about 5 years from now, what you see yourself doing? Yeah. In the content world, film world, television, acting.
Hopefully, I will have an agent, and at least doing commercials, national commercials. Content-wise, my goal is to reach 1 million followers, and at least a combination of. I have 2 monetized pages, so at least a combination of each page. I need to be at 1 million followers. More of a personal side, I hope. I would like to find love again. That would be nice.
Are you open? You know, go ahead. The 5 feet. Browski. You know. Alright, so if you're looking to find love again, what's up, the guy that you want to approach you?
I mean, well, I guess I have to be fair. I'm kind of talking to someone, but it is long distance, and I really like him. I do. I really like him because he'll see this and he'll probably say, "Why didn't you say anything?" But I mean, I do really like him. But I'm a Gemini. I'm a free spirit, so
okay.
So what are good qualities in a guy that you're interested in?
Has to have a relationship with God. And I think that I lost sight of that in any previous relationship. I didn't realize how important that is. Has to be intelligent. Because I know me, and I know my mouth, and I know I can say some mean things. And if it goes over your head, then you're not the one for me. Yeah. Has to be financially savvy. And that doesn't mean have so much, but know about different accounts, know about investing, have a 401k. Like, you have to be savvy about that. Be savvy about your credit. Yeah, that means a lot. But everything else, like looks wise, I'm so open.
You don't want no man with a missing teeth in the middle.
Well,
yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah,
I would hope he would get that straightened out. For real, yeah, he would need to get that. Yeah.
Get yourself together.
Yeah.
You can talk a little bit.
But as long as, I mean, and he would, I feel at my age, have a man that doesn't have children is a little weird.
I see that. Because I know a lot of people, like, especially living in New York now.
Right.
There's a lot of couples in like dating or marriage, things like that, who decide not to have.
And yeah, and that's one thing. If you decide you don't want children, like, I respect that. But if
you're single and you got nothing running around.
Yeah, that's just a little, I'm too old for that. That's a little weird. But too many baby mamas, that I can't do that either.
It was like seven
that's no, I can't do that. I can't do
average.
that. No. Like 1 or 2, like, it's understandable, but but
Like cordial baby mode, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Has to be active in their child's life, like not just pay child support, because so many people think that's okay. That is not okay. You have to, take your child places.
Some type of figure.
Yeah.
And what you create.
Don't just buy things. So many parents like that too. Like actually spend time, work with homework and all of this. Meet the teachers, go to the school. Like all of that is important. But yeah, looks are superficial to me.
Yeah, you got
I mean, you gotta look like something now.
Yeah, you want
gotta-
to walk up to your little mom. You
No.
got that teeth right there, be whistling at you.
No, gotta look like something. And
Okay.
dress as well. At least because that shows creativity and intelligence. You have to put yourself together some type of way. Yes.
Okay. So, what is your words of wisdom that you use every day? Either from your parents telling you that you still use, or that you create yourself originality, or a quote that you still use.
That's a good one. I say so many. I really do, because I post so many different things. Let's see. That's everything happens for a reason. I firmly live by that, because so many people want to think, oh, what if this happened, or shoulda, coulda, woulda. Like, you can't live like that, doubting. Like, if it happened, that may be a blessing in disguise, and you just don't know yet. So yeah, and live every day to the fullest, and take time for yourself. I mean, I have 4 kids, and I put so many different labels on myself. I wear so many different hats. I'm a makeup artist, I'm a content creator, I do so much. But I have to realize, and if other people, you have to realize, you have to take a moment for yourself. Whether it's just reading a page of a book, like simple, like, but take a moment. Because if not, you're just getting older and older, and you're not getting wiser.
That's good.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that one. All right, so how can someone reach out to you, right? To be a big sister, a mentor, be the guidance, or they need someone to talk to you who's going through a similar situation that you're going through, to help them out. How can someone reach out to you?
So many people have reached out on my children's page, Victory for Victor and Family. On my page, it's just my name, Elizabeth Nicole Pompey. People message me, I've gone through a similar domestic violence issue, or my son or their child is in the hospital and the doctor says they need a trach. What is this like? So I'm always advising people, and yeah, they Facebook Messenger. And I have a Facebook group where I link surveys and research studies, because I'm all about people making money on the side. So I'm always in a few different research studies. I'm probably in about 4 right now. This has been years in the making of just finding information about, because I always knew it was possible, like paid surveys. You see this all the time, but a lot of people think, oh, that's a scam. And yeah, there are a lot of scams out there, and a lot of ones that don't make money. But on a monthly basis, I make between $100 and $500 off surveys and research studies. Yes.
Do you do a lot of them, or like? Yeah.
Yes. Some of them span 2 years. Some of them only span a few months. But I've gotten Amazon gift cards. I've gotten a few free items, like a Fitbit watch, the Fitbit scale, money, checks in the mail. So
Oh,
I have
nice.
a Facebook group, Family Investing. That's the name of the group, where I share different opportunities for people.
Okay, perfect. And you know, this is a time of year where a lot of people go out, right? They want to splurge, have some money, things like that. What is you're not a professional money expert, but what is advice that you give someone who's just starting to get some money? What can they do that you can?
Well, because I've been up and
Yeah.
I've been down.
Yeah.
Especially, well, clothing wise, you just need the basics. You know, like we as women, we want nice, pretty things, and that's cool. But starting out, get you a basic khaki pant, black pant, a few shirts to interchange. Focus on quality and not quantity. Because if you spend $50 for a pair of pants versus $10 for a pair of pants, like the $10 pairs, it's gonna tear up. You're gonna need other pants to replace it. Like, focus on quality. So jewelry, like focus on local designers. If you wear real jewelry, you know, focus on pieces that will stay with you. You don't have to keep buying different things. Like, I used to be bad about coffee every day. Don't get coffee. Just stop. Just, if you want to make coffee at home. Don't go to Starbucks. I'm vegan as well, so I have to make my own food. I eat out sometimes, but make your own food. Like, that helps so much.
Food will get you.
Food will get you, and I've learned that so much.
They're just chicken.
See, I'm vegan, so it's like, hey, you know, more for you, I guess. But yeah, and people think it's so expensive being vegan. Vegetables are so cheap. Fruits are so cheap. What gets people is not even meat. Even if you want to eat meat, cool. It's processed food. Stay out of the aisles of the grocery store, where all the boxes, and stay out of the aisles. Shop the perimeter, and you will be fine.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
I like that. Okay, well, we appreciate you for coming to the show.
Of course.
You know, and like I said, we appreciate you. Appreciate special co-host today. You know, her very first one with me. So, thank you so much, Liz. And any final thoughts?
Oh no, thank you for having me, and look me up on Facebook, Victory for Victor and Family.